When I was in Italy, I met a Polish couple who were together for 4 years. She was a counselor and tried digging into me, so I did the same back. I found out from picking her apart that she's been cheating on him, and I got her to admit this to him. They broke up, and concerned gay guy replies, and then she proposed to him, and the husband and everyone else of course clapped, right? How do I know? I was the ring. Hello Redditors of the internet, Noble Xenon here, and welcome to r/ThatHappened Part 8, home of the truest stories on planet Earth. Let's get started. So, my boyfriend was attacked years ago, and during that incident, the other men castrated him. What? While the most brutal thing I've ever seen, it still turned me on to see stronger men take his balls. What the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, let's just move on. The wife of a famous actor who recently killed someone posted this on Instagram. Out of anything that never happened, this one didn't happen the most. My friends invited me over for New Year's Eve. I passed out at like 10:30 p.m. on their floor. They took pics because I do this like all the time, in case you wonder what it would be like if we ever hung out. Laughing emoji. I didn't have my mouth open and drooling per usual, so leaving you with respect and peace and namaste 2021. You have taught me many hard emotions and guided me through dark moments. I met so many amazing people who lifted me up and dried my tears. 2021 is the year of hard experiences that I thought would kill me and very bright, that made my spirit born again with the birth of Marilou. I leave you 2021 next to a cozy fire in the tiniest tree ever, wrapped up in a kitty blanket. 2022, so ready to meet you. Hearts, Happy New Year friends, I can't wait to experience all that is to come with you. For this next one, yeah, that happened. 2 days ago I was leaving a busy bar with my wife. I had 3 pints. A drunk slapped her ass and said, "Come home with me, baby." I proceeded to beat him forcibly till I was sure he learned a lesson. Fights can happen anywhere, just depends who's involved and what offensive action was taken. We got a tough guy over here, watch out. And we go to Quora for this next one. Oh boy. Originally answered, what is the most manly drink? I recall once walking into a bar and ordering a glass of Chardonnay. It was a beer drinking bar, this one of those sports watching places with about 100 brews on tap. But they also had a nice selection of wine, surprisingly enough. I like beer, I like whiskey, I like all kinds of booze. I also like wine. On this day, I felt like a Chardonnay. So there I am, sitting around all these guys drinking beer and whiskey. There were a couple friends of mine, a couple locals, and a couple dudes I didn't know. And then, the inquiry started. Does a real man order wine? Socrates-like, someone clarified the question. What drinks are manly and what drinks are not manly? What makes them such? What indeed is the preferred drink of the true man? All I want to know is what's the drink of the Sigma Chad? My friends are lawyers. They ask questions like this for a living. The boys were clearly ribbing me a bit for my drink of choice. That's what buddies do. After everyone else had given their smart aleck answers, someone looked at me, then briefly down at my long-stemmed glass and said, "So Fox, tell us, what does a real man drink?" "Whatever he damn well pleases," I said flatly, directing my gaze at some unidentified point off in the distance like this was some kind of movie. I got a solid round of applause for this. That was good enough, but then came the best part. My boys bought me Chardonnays for the rest of the night. Clearly a reward for being a real man and doing whatever he wants. And I like how someone says, "I want to punch this story in the face." Damn. For this next one, oh Twitter. My family had a surprise 21st birthday party for my nephew. A female guest announced she hates cats, then kicked mine about 6 feet across the floor. These kids all laughed. I got up and hit her boyfriend and broke his jaw in 2 places. So many supposed badasses, you'd think they're just waiting for the right time to strike. And now we go to a thread about makeup compliments. A dude trying to promote some event stopped me on campus in undergrad. I turned around and made eye contact with him and he said something like, "Never mind, you're way too intimidating. Your eyes are like, intense." I think I was wearing a heavy winged look that day, but I've always been proud of my sharp eyeliner skills, so I took it as a compliment, lol. Intimidating? What? For this next one, nobody's buying this story. I decided to get McDonald's for breakfast after work tonight. I did a 12-hour shift. I was hungry. I got to the drive-thru where a lady asked to take my order. I asked for 2 McMuffins with cheese and bacon. She rudely, you mean rudely, went, "They come with cheese already. Is that all for this morning?" I said, "Oh no ma'am, I need 2 hash browns and is that all, sir?" Just like that, I couldn't even finish, she interpreted me. Interpreted? Interrupted? I said, "Ma'am, I also need a hot coffee with some sugar and cream." She started yelling, "There's no sugar." So I replied back, "Ma'am, just put cream in it, okay?" She said, "Pull ahead of the next available window," so I did. She gave me my total. I gave her a $50 bill. She rolled her eyes and said, "What is this? We don't accept anything higher than a $20 bill," so I gave her my debit card. She threw the card back in my car. I said, "Hey lady, just because you're working on New Year's, do not take it out on me. I just worked a 12-hour shift and I just want to eat." She laughed and said the food won't be ready in to-go park and she'll bring it out to me. I waited 56 minutes, and when that fat old bee showed up, this is the face I had on. Yeah, the one I'm showing you right now. Anyway, she got scared and ran back inside, LOL. I called the corporate office and even got my money back, with a lot of exclamation points. I know sometimes they can take forever to get your food, but 56 minutes at McDonald's? Hey, if you're enjoying this, then why not hit that like button? If you want to see more, subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and comment if you have something on your mind. And now, as if anyone would react that strongly to not have kids, my friend decided to turn lesbian a few weeks ago, and today we were arguing about it and I said, "Do you really want to be 50 and not have kids?" It was like a light went off in her head. Suddenly, she was crying on the floor. "I hope it's not too late to find a man," she said. Decided to turn lesbian. Pretty sure that's not how it works. For this next one, I pied too just by reading it. Yeah, cause I'm saying to my friends because they mess me. They said take a burning coal in your mouth, and I did it in front of them, and my girlfriend literally, they pied in their pants. Peed in their pants? With cool sunglasses emojis for some reason. This makes no sense. For this next one, a guy is the last to leave the plane, so my flight was inexplicably delayed. The airport called my phone and told me the flight was going to depart 3 hours later than originally planned. Apparently, I was the only one to receive that phone call because I was the only one to show up to the later flight. Everyone else was put on other flights. The end result? I'm the only mother effer on the plane, besides the flight attendant who was blaring Metallica over the PA after doing the most hilariously minimal safety briefing. Awesome. Happy face. Crazy town. The pilot keeps asking, "Are you ready to friggin' fly?" Haha, this is amazing. For this next one, yes, the old classic they all started clapping story. I'm sure she also went and took over the role of president for the Flat Earthers, LOL. Flat Earth Society says, "Speak the truth." I was walking to the park the other day and I heard a kid ask his mom, "Mom, what shape is the earth?" I overheard this and told the kid, Actually, the earth is flat, but only smart people know that." The mother had tears in her eyes and started clapping, knowing her son wasn't being taught the right thing ever. Everyone in the park started clapping and I walked out with pride. This has got to be some sort of troll. No way people are still using the "and everyone clapped" seriously. For this next one, did I do this right? Saw this and immediately thought of this group. Tell me if y'all think this happened. This morning, as I was running late for an appointment, I drove past a park and from a distance, I saw this young girl sitting on the bench and it looked like she was crying. I continued to drive and I thought to myself, what if that was me, or even worse, my daughter? So I turned around and I pulled up, opened my car door and walked over to her and sat down beside her. She was crying so hard that she didn't know I was there until I tapped her on the shoulder and asked, "Are you okay?" She looked up at me and said, "No, he cheated on me. I don't want to even live anymore." I knew at this point I needed to take as much time as I could to talk to this young girl. We'd sat there on that bench and talked for at least 2 hours about relationships, life, and future goals, and when the time came, we finally said our goodbyes, so I walked back to my car and closed the door and started to back out when I looked back at her and she was walking towards me with her head down. When she came up to the window, she confessed to me that she thought about ending it all, and because of me stopping and talking to her, she decided that it wasn't in her best interest anymore. Needless to say, I might have missed an appointment, but I also might have saved a life. It takes $0.00 to be a decent human being. Pass it on. Yeah, but you don't need to post about it online. That's where people start questioning your intentions and the validity of the story. For this next one, I'm just not convinced. My 2-year-old asked her dad to respect her boundaries. My 2-year-old makes me so proud every single day. There are days where you try so hard to be a good and peaceful parent and it just feels like it doesn't work. They don't get it. But then, there are days that you know for a fact that your parenting style is effective. Those are the days that it is all worth it. Yesterday, my daughter was playing and running around with my husband. He reached out and tickled her armpits. She started crying and ran over to me. I asked her what happened. She said, "Daddy tickled me. I didn't like that." I told her that she should go tell her dad that she didn't like that. She ran up to him and said, "Please respect my boundaries." You guys, I was so proud that I cried a little bit. She's so sweet. She says please and thank you. Everyone, talk to your kids the way you want them to talk to others. They will copy you. If you treat them with respect, they will treat others with respect. I promise. Heart emoji. And Dukel14 says, "Mother dearest, father's unnecessary tomfoolery was quite vexing to me. I shan't permit that. I will make haste and proclaim my misgivings to him." Tips Fedora, I guess? I don't know. For this next one, BSer epically defends his girlfriend from her abusive ex. We've got ourselves a badass over here, so prepare yourselves. So, long story short, I was out with her like usual, then I told her to walk in front of me because I needed to tie my shoes. When she was like 10 meters ahead of me, her ex appeared and started screaming at her. I recognized him right away because she always told me how he used to beat her. I guess it was my lucky day because it was dark outside and no one was there apart from his 3. Basically, easy bait to what the F out of. I ran full speed at him only for him to take out a knife, but if you've trained some MMA, you'd know how easy it is to defend yourself from one knife. I held his hand, which had the knife, and punched his elbow on the opposite direction, which made a loud cracking noise. He started screaming loud AF. I didn't want any attention drawn to us, so I quickly finished him with an uppercut, which made him sleep on the grass. Good night. Your weak little knife is no match for me. Anime picture just completes this post. For this next one, your kisses taste high IQ? What? A few weeks ago, I went on an unplanned date with an ex-friend. We kissed at some point and he said, "You are the smartest person I know and even in your kisses it shows. Your kisses are so good, they taste like high IQ." A few hours later, he cut me off and said that it was too intimidating to date me. Fragile masculinity can also be this. Sounds like someone needs to be on r/I'm very smart. This next one comes straight from the DoorDash driver subreddit. He later claims that they are now friends with benefits and her cookies and strawberries taste great. I'll let you decide what that implies. Great tip plus phone number from cute neighbor. Wholesome. So I was doing a $3 delivery that was just down the street because I only had like 10 minutes to get back to a barber appointment and get my hair cut. So I literally took it just because I knew it would be quick. I get to the house and the last number of the address is covered plus a big ass dog is barking. So I'm like, are you kidding me? $3 and I have to get past a beast LOL? Little did I know that it was the wrong address. The lady came out and told me that it was the wrong address, but here's the catch. She was a fox. She was really attractive, LOL. Anyway, I go next door to the right address and it's an old lady and give her the pizza. She said, "Hold on, baby, I got a tip for you." I kid you not, the lady came back with a $10 tip. Okay, so we up $13 from a 1-mile delivery, LOL. Then when leaving, the foxy neighbor was looking at me and apologized about the dog, so I broke the ice and introduced myself. We exchanged numbers. Let's just say the next day she invited me over for dessert, if you know what I mean. I accepted, and the strawberries tasted really good. I'll leave it at that for y'all to read between the lines. For this next one, DMV workers are not busy at all and can definitely do this in the middle of work. The lady at the DMV took my picture for the license and registration. Then she asked, "Body type?" Slim to average, I guess. "Of the vehicle." Oh, she laughs hysterically for 3 minutes. Now she's telling all her coworkers and I can never show my face here again. Oh, the embarrassment. For this next one. And then, everyone at the park clapped. I can't help but tear up a little bit as I write this. Earlier this morning, right after I got done at the soup kitchen, I saw this absolutely devastated looking young lady on the curb of a sidewalk by the park. Something in my heart told me I needed to go talk to her, so I did. She told me all about how her father had kicked her out of the house because she wanted to help out a guy friend by letting him stay with her for a few days. I couldn't help but tell her straight to her face, she was incredibly beautiful by the way, that her father was wrong, and that she deserved better. She cried and buried her face in my shoulder for the rest of that morning. Her dad sure is a cynical a-hole. Afterwards, I offered to buy her breakfast and she accepted, where she confessed to me that she'd never had someone be so nice to her. Then, we went behind the gazebo at the park and she sucked my— oh my lord! It just goes to show that it doesn't take anything to be kind to people, and sometimes the universe will reward you for it, like it did today. Well, that story certainly took a turn. I think OP got whooshed on this one. For this next one, if you haven't drank a fifth of vodka, gone 167 miles an hour in a 150 horsepower car, then gotten compliments from the cop that pulled you over because you drive like the race car driver, then you haven't lived. I once had a 09 Pontiac Vibe. It was naturally aspirated 2.3-liter 4-cylinder Toyota motor buttoned up to a GM 5-speed Sportmatic transmission. Basically, a clutchless 5-speed, but anyway, when I first got it, I looked up how to crack the ECU so it would have the European tuning, and one day, I took it for a drive thinking that I was out in the middle of nowhere blowing off some steam. Yeah, the cop said when I passed him on County Road 19 I was doing a buck. He said that he then clocked me at 65 when I drifted onto County Road 26, and then I hit third gear and my speedometer was maxed out at 150. In third gear? And then I noticed the red and blue lights way back in the distance like the little engine that could. Looked ahead of me and seeing about half a mile up the road was the county jail on the left-hand side. I decided at that point I might just want to stop. So I pulled over and smoked a whole cigarette while he was catching up to me. Strangely enough, he was very impressed with my driving and kept mentioning it, and asked what I did for a living because he'd never seen anybody that wasn't a race car driver be able to drive like that. Unfortunately, he was extremely angry at the fact I was very drunk. I had drinking a fifth of vodka a couple hours before. Definitely not one of my finer moments and definitely not a very good idea. Cop said he clocked me out doing 167 before I was nothing but taillights and he thought for sure I was gonna run from him. Truth is, I was going so fast, I didn't even notice him at first. There are just so many unbelievable things about this one. So many. For this next one, sure, people are saying this to you and this wasn't all a blatant flex opportunity. Full-time RV living. If I had $1 for every time someone said I can't raise my kid in a trailer because she will be trailer trash, rolls eyes, and $100,000 trailer and daily driver is a Maserati, crazy face, just gets me for some reason. Does anyone else hear this? And Ramen Noodles says if this was actually true, just shows how terrible they are with their finances driving around in a Maserati. Living in a trailer while driving a Maserati, something is not adding up here. And for this last one, teenage incel imagines what it's like to be around girls, and what it's like to work at an office. Am I the a-hole for supposedly forming a quote boys club? I work in an office with a bunch of guys. It's a male-dominated field, and as such, we've had only guys up until recently. A new girl joined and we all welcomed her with open arms. A thing about my office is that we are very tight-knit. We see each other for a crap ton of time and are all pretty good friends. We work together, leave together, and generally hang out together. It makes a pretty demanding job much easier when you know you have others around you to help make life more bearable. The new girl, Allie, joins and we invite her out to drinks with all of us. She says, "Wow, you really think any sane girl would go out with a group of all guys who are gonna get drunk? Do you know what will inevitably happen when big strong men get drunk and see an attractive woman? Or am I just the entertainment for tonight? Want me to get on a pole? Friggin' idiots." She storms out. We're a little hurt by that, but maybe we approached that the wrong way. Later on, we invite her to go out to a brunch over the weekend, and I make extra sure to let her know none of us think about her sexually. She says, "Hell no, I'm not gonna sacrifice my weekend just to do work shit. It's my frickin' weekend. I have a life outside of work unlike you bozos. And also, what the hell is up with that thinking about me sexually talk? The only reason you'd say this is if you've done it, you perv." So recently, I invite everyone to my house for a dinner party, except for Allie, because I don't feel like getting yelled at again. We all go, have a good time, and come into work the next day and we get yelled at by Allie again, asking why every single person was invited to a dinner party but her. I told her I only invited friends and she said, "BS excuse to form a boys club. You are all friggin' sexist pigs." She then spit in my face and walked out. Yeah, making her look completely unreasonable so that everyone says you're not the a-hole. Classic. She called HR and now we're all going to a disciplinary meeting to work things out. Me over her spit and her over the supposed misogyny and sexism. The problem with r/mi the a-hole is a lot of people try to make it sound like they're in the right, and a lot of people just make shit up. Anyway, I'd like to thank all of my patrons, especially a jury of Juggling Jerrys, Catalan Cormetti, Spoonie the Rogue, and Benjamins. You can join in the link below, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. If you have something interesting to say, don't forget to comment. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. See you guys next time.